Can't believe it. I just cannot believe that you're here. I cannot believe you're here with me, Kevin.
I haven't had trouble with it myself.
It doesn't look like I'm live on Facebook.
It says live. It says live in my window here.
There, maybe that works. Is it live on Facebook right now? No.
No
it's
idea.
Not. It's not. Save changes. Hold on. I don't know why it wasn't. I had selected it earlier. That's funny. Now we're live.
Now we're live. All right.
I hope. I don't know. We'll see if there's no comments here in a minute. We'll see. But I think we are. I don't know.
Welcome to America.
Yes. Welcome to America. Well, we do have one person watching, two people watching on Facebook. I think that means thousands, by the way. 2,000 people watching.
Yeah.
Hello, Kat.
I never had a chance to promote this to my folks.
Yeah, sorry, that's my fault. That's 100% my fault.
That's okay.
And I'm sorry. Hi, Denise, and hello, Dr. Kelly. Kevin, since we last talked, when was you were my first guest?
I was the very first Drinks with Dempsey guest.
Yeah, and I
singular honor.
It was. There will never be another first time. It's like a first kiss. Hello, Kevin and Michelle. But yeah, so I want to know. We're going to talk about what's changed with you since we last talked. I can see a lot of change has happened in your personal quarters. I can see a friendly neighborhood hero hanging over your head, which I think is awesome. And yeah, and I want to talk about your general, happiness in life with your decision here in the van. But there's a question that has been on my mind for probably 2 years, maybe. How long? When did we meet? 2 years ago or 3 years ago at NINC?
I think it's like 3 years ago.
Okay, 3 years ago at NINC.
And the answer is boxer briefs.
No, I already know
I am way ahead of you.
I already knew that answer. The question is, does arugula seem to you like a confusing member of the lettuce family?
It's like lawn clippings, right? I know it's the hottest thing in like vegan eating or something now, but to me it looks like it literally looks like those like dollar weeds that would pop up in the yard when you, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, like it's got the little like spiky leaf and everything.
Oh, I just ate some.
Looks like that to me. Yeah. So
and it doesn't taste great with everything. Certain things, bitter. Yeah, there's certain things where it's just nasty. And then I just had it with some pasta I made from Purple Carrot, product placement, and it was fine. But like sometimes it's just not good. But it feels like a fickle version of the lettuce. It's a fickle member of the lettuce family, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
It gets caught in my throat.
Okay.
If I don't chew it thoroughly, I feel like the little spiky part gets caught in my throat.
Yeah. Well,
but
that's why
I'm eating a lot more of that kind of stuff now. You're part of that. You influenced me to start eating more plant-based, which has helped a lot.
Yeah, it does. I believe in it. And, I'm not fully plant-based, but I'm heavily plant-based, and I think it's a good thing. Yeah. And it's...
I'm not fully plant-based either, man. I'm still eating,
I know.
like chicken and stuff like that, but...
We're called flexitarians, us.
Flexitarians.
That's what people call us.
I knew there would be a term.
Yeah.
A label that I could apply to I knew it.
And one that is sure to offend someone.
Yes. I hope so. Otherwise, why use it?
Right. So we have someone that said hi, twins. So
yeah, we're looking a little like, especially as I start to lose weight, man. I'm gonna get to that Dempsey weight soon.
We do have, like, if I had the facial hair, your hair's a little darker than mine, but
Yeah,
we do have that same cheerful, squinty smile,
exactly.
and our jaws kind of like lift up a little bit, and maybe we are like long lost cousins.
Could be. You're a little more red haired than I am. Though. You're more
Yeah,
ginger.
that's why I say cousins. Like,
Yeah.
my dad was dark haired though, so.
Yeah. I'm gonna try an experiment so you can see the setup
Okay,
that I'm
yes,
on.
because we
Okay.
had Denise asking what kind of van is that.
Here's my. This is what I'm currently. Let's see. This is what I'm currently looking at,
Look at you.
and there's a light up there. There's my
Mm-hmm.
little rig. Yeah. So you can kind of see the back of the van.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is a funky way to do it, but otherwise I got to take my phone off the little thing. But
Yeah, that's all right.
over there is my wife's twin size bed, and there's a bunch of crap on it right now because we just drove here.
Yeah.
But and then you can see the rest behind me. But if you look back there in the back, that's the wet bath back there. So there's a full shower and toilet and all that stuff.
That's
Kind of,
great.
there you go.
That's awesome. So
I cheated.
I've got a question about it because hi Kathy. So we have a travel trailer as well, Marilyn. I see that you've got one, and my question is, are you comfortable on your bed?
This is a very comfortable bed.
I need to get a new one. My new bed.
We spent like we've probably spent $700 total getting these beds to where we want them. But we could have saved about $300 had we gone with what we're using now in the first place.
What did you get? What kind of bed?
I can send you a link, but it's so it came with this like firm cushion base. It was made of this material, right?
Yeah.
And that was kind of stiff. It was probably that would be good enough if all you were doing was traveling, a quick nap, or sleeping overnight somewhere and moving on, right? But we have these memory foam mattresses we had to cut down to fit this size because it's not quite twin. It's a little narrower than a twin, and then that set came with a down mattress topper. So it's a combination of that hard foam with the memory foam and a down topper, and then we cover them in quilts, pretty nice quilts. So
okay,
it's comfy.
Okay,
it's comfy as hell, man. I mean, we had just a memory foam mattress topper for a while when we first moved into this, and that was comfortable, but it was like a little too soft. So we were always waking up with like aches and pains. And, yeah,
that's me. I'm like last weekend we went, and I'm still waking up like I can't sleep through the night. It's like every 20 minutes I wake up hurting.
Yeah.
And I would definitely not be able to rough it like out in the Wild West.
Yeah.
Like sleeping on the ground style.
I'm totally okay with that. I used to do that all the time. I'd probably wake up, seized up, but I'd get over it.
Now I have another question. Your screen is remarkably clear. Mine is not. And this is my brand new MacBook Pro that I got with my points on my card. I finally had enough points, and I didn't want to get the new MacBook because I don't like to be an early adopter with software and hardware. And since they're switching to their new setup, I was like, I'm going to let them get over their growing pains before I get the new thing. So I got this, but I'm wondering why it's a little fuzzy.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Maybe
this is a iPhone, my iPhone 11 Pro Max. And then I've got a really good camera light that I've got turned on me, so that's probably helping. The closer you get, the fuzzier you seem to be.
It's grainy. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. So Denise wants to know.
Are you full time? We are full timing. Yeah. We actually started. So we were living in an apartment. The long version of the story includes all the way back to like 2015 when we decided to sell our house and get into a 38-foot motor coach. And we were in that for a couple of years. We came off the road because we were kind of stuck in Houston. Kara worked for a while. She was working in Houston in an office space. So we kept having to come back here to be in Houston. So that kind of sucked to be in an RV. So we got out, we got into an apartment. We were in an apartment for about 3 years and decided we would get back on the road full time. And we ended up buying a Lance travel trailer, not dissimilar to the one Ernie has. And we were in that for, we got in officially full time at the beginning of May, because COVID hit right as we were getting on the road. The whole pandemic thing got us off the rails, but we were supposed to get in April. We were in it in May. We loved it. It was comfortable, perfectly comfortable. But what we discovered was we are road trip people. And we were doing things like we were in a really nice RV resort in Kerrville called Buckhorn Lake. Is very nice and very high end. And what we were doing was getting in our truck and driving a couple of hours in any direction and spending the day in all the surrounding towns around there. And we kept thinking, if we had the camper with us, we could stay, but it would be really inconvenient to have the camper. And that's when I had been kicking around this idea of a whole van conversion for years. Yeah. And she just wasn't going for it as a full-time thing. And she just out of the blue said, why don't we do the van? And so we worked it out. We traded and we got a van and we loved it, man. It's been nearly a month now.
Yep. Been a month and you're a vagabond living in a van down by the river.
If I hear that joke one more time, man, I
can't use it enough. I know you do.
Everybody says that. It's the first thing anybody says.
I know, and I'm not gonna disappoint. If I'm anything, my readers know I'm cliche.
Yeah.
And
I make the joke myself is the problem. So Okay, I'm sorry.
I even put it in the promo for today's show that you'd be
I
coming to us live from a van down by the river.
What's funny is we're actually parked in the driveway of my in-laws' place because we were out and about running some errands, and we came over here, and I got my alarms. I had my alarm set to remind me for this call, and I said, okay, I need to get set up. And my father-in-law says, well, you're welcome to use the theater room upstairs because I've been doing a lot of live streaming out of there. I'm like, I think it would disappoint everybody if I did this talk anywhere other than the van.
I would have been disappointed. Yes. Yeah. If you were shooting this in a living room or a den or an office, I would have been like, oh, okay. Yeah. Well, Sandy got here a little late, so she didn't realize that you were in a van down by your in-laws. So
there's a river nearby.
Oh my goodness!
Pretty close.
Yes.
Well, it's been kind of fun because what we've been doing is we'll get up in the mornings and do our routines and everything, and we'll just sort of decide where do we want to be today. And yesterday we drove about an hour outside of Houston to a place called Kingwood, and or out at least an hour from our part of Houston, and we found a nice shaded park, and we were able to park along the street, and we could take our dog out. And I did some live streaming, and we did all our work there, and it was, we've been kind of swapping out our front yard every day.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it with a kid. There's no way. It would be, and we have two cats. It's not possible with cats.
People do it. People do it.
Yeah, but I don't know how happy they are with cats. I can't imagine
there's a YouTube full of them, man. Look around.
That is true. There's a YouTube full of them, but I don't know about that would be weird to have the whole litter box in there. That's too close.
People do it. And one of the things, if we had, kids or something like that, what I would have done instead of this van, this is what they call a Class B. And it literally, as you've seen them on the road, it's one of the Ford Transit cargo vans converted. Yep. And it's really nice. I mean, it's kitchen. We've got a microwave, solar panels, all that stuff. But if I were doing this with a family in tow, I think it would I would go with. I'd still do a Class B, but I do what they call a Class B plus, or I might even go up to like a Class C, which is those are the ones that look like a van with a travel trailer, mounted on it, like the big boxy ones.
Yes.
I'd probably go that way.
You're answering Denise's question now with that statement.
Pop it up.
Oh, it's from way back. I don't. It's from way back. What kind of rig is that? She asked.
Yeah. So this is it's made by Coachman. It's called a Beyond, the Coachman Beyond 22 RB. If you ever want to look it up, and the RB means rear bath. So the entire rear of this thing is a wet bath. And we
like
actually
that.
bought one of those hitch-mounted trunks. So the thing is 22 feet long, and we added like another 2 feet onto the end of it so that we could carry some. Because there's no, unlike our other RVs, there's no like undercarriage storage or anything for like lawn chairs or whatever. So now we have a trunk.
Okay.
Built that last night, so I'm real proud of that thing.
Excellent. Well, or as Sam would call it, a boot.
A boot.
She would call it a boot.
A boot.
At least I think she would.
Maybe.
So,
the boot of the car.
How has this impacted your work as far as your writing and your work with Draft to Digital? Has it impacted it at all in a positive or negative way? Are you
mostly positive, honestly, because I'm still kind of sticking to the same routines. I write every day. There was a week or so in there where I got off track. I had planned for it though. Like I had not planned for us getting into the van, but I had taken a week off for us to deal with we had 3 storage units, and now we're down to 2. But we were organizing all that and taking stuff to donate, and that turned into a much bigger job than I had anticipated, especially when we got into the van. Because we had now we weren't just organizing, we were also downsizing from the trailer to the van.
Right.
Which is like half the space. But it's given us a chance to be much more minimalist and to get rid of stuff we really just didn't need to hold on to. Like it's been great for me personally, like along those lines, like spiritually, like we're letting go of a lot of the excess baggage of our lives because of this, and that's made the writing much easier. Like everything flows much better, and I'm still doing live streams for D2D and interviews for the podcast and
the
stuff like
Kevin
this.
Show.
The Kevin Show. I haven't done the Kevin Show in a couple of weeks. I keep getting interference. Things keep overlapping it. So I'm gonna do another one soon, though.
Why did you say it? Why did you say it like that? Is this show interfering with it?
No, it's not this show. It's another thing that I committed to something. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want anybody to hear and think that I'm mad about it or something. But
no,
there's another thing I'm regularly involved in that tends to move around a lot, and it keeps getting rescheduled at the last minute, and it ends up canceling my other show.
Right. Okay.
That's okay.
I won't be doing this show again for at least 3 weeks because I'll be in Pigeon Forge and close to Gatlinburg next weekend, and then I'll be in flying to Spokane, Washington 2 weeks from today to do.
There's a chance that you and I might be in the same area at the same time.
It would be pretty awesome if that was the case. I will be there. I will be there for not quite. It'll be about like 36 hours. I'll be there in that area, and then coming back, and but I'm interested to see what flying is like right now. Like with the, like nobody next to you and wearing masks. Although the flight from Chattanooga to Atlanta is. Well, A, it's unnecessary, but I just like parking my car here and not driving down there. And secondly, the flight from here to there, it is like just 2 seats per side. So it's like, I don't know if there is going to be somebody next to me on the plane down, but I don't care. I'll be fully geared up.
Yeah.
I'll be totally cool. But I am interested to see what it's like. So Yeah. Anyway, I'm flying out there. Oh, your brother lives near Spokane and 3 Mile Falls. Oh, yeah, it is amazing country. So, yeah, I'm going up there to do a book signing tour. That's not what I'm doing. I wish it was that. I wish it was something like.
That's what I do everywhere I go now, though. It's like that's the whole point. It's like I go places. I have stickers on the van that say authorontheroad.com, you know, and that's a good conversation starter. And I carry some with me so I can hand out to people. But every time we stop and stay anywhere, I go in and just sort of accidentally, casually mention, you know, I'm an author. I'm just here to, you know,
shameless
talk to people about my books. Yeah. So
shameless plugs. You walk into a truck stop bathroom and you look over at the guy next to you and say that, do you? Is
every time. Yeah.
probably the
first I look down and I say, you know, I'm an author.
Oh, Sandy works for an airline. I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, it is funny. It comes up and people are always it's always interesting when they realize it, like when they Google you or whatever, and then they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because at first I think they think that I'm joking. Like that I'm like just messing with them or like, oh, okay, sure, man, whatever. And then they look it up. That happened last week. I forgot to share those pictures. I'll share them after the show. But it's I found a couple camping nearby, and they had their camping sign, their family name there, and it was the Wyatts. And I was like, I have to take a picture of this.
That's too good to pass up.
Yeah. And I said, hey, and they were sitting out there and they're Tennessee fans. They had a bunch of Tennessee stuff. And I was like, hey, go Vols. Can I ask you guys a question? Like, this is really random. So I told them and said, I write these books and then my main character is a Wyatt. And I'd love to share these little camping, signs that you've got with my fans. And they're like, yeah, sure. Okay. No big deal. So I said, I'm going to take my daughter back over to the camper, and I'll come back over and do it.
Yeah.
So I went back, got my phone, came back over, and the woman was holding her phone, and she's like, you've written a lot of books. I was like, yeah.
So
it's true.
At Buckhorn, I went in and was talking to the people who were managing the place, and I had mentioned I was an author, and they asked, "Oh, what's the name of your book?" And I said, "Well, I've got like 50 books," and that got a reaction. But then I said, one thing I like to do is I like to give a few books to the places I'm staying, and if you want. And they were like, "Oh, sure, yeah." So I ordered like a handful of books from my catalog and brought them in.
Yeah.
And I stuck the little Author on the Road stickers in the front cover and signed them and all that stuff. And we were there for another month after that. And those things have been passed around to everybody in that place. Like they would all read them like in a night or two and pass them on to someone else. And so I had a lot of fans, but everyone knew me by name. Like everyone kept referring to me as Mr. Tumlinson every time they'd see me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Where do you go ahead?
No, go ahead.
Where do you get your stickers made?
I use Sticker Mule.
Okay. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay.
That's my sticker, the Kevin Tumlinson sticker. But I don't think I have any of the Author on the Road stickers handy. But I had a whole logo design with like unfortunately, it was built around the camper, the trailer that we just traded. But so it looks like that, but that's okay. I'm cool with it. But it's a nice, cool looking. You can see it on the website, authorontheroad.com. It's got a nice little nostalgic motif.
Okay. Kat said she bought some of your books today.
Oh, thanks, Kat. I appreciate it. I like selling things.
Yes. So Dr. Kelly had a little inside joke here, I think, about Wyoming prisons. But to get that joke, I think you would probably have to read The Second Sign by your good friend Ernest Dempsey.
So I think what I'm going to do, Ernie, is I'm going to write a book called The Third Sign.
Yeah, please don't ever read my stuff again, by the way.
And I'm gonna reference everything from your books though. Like it's all gonna be like secondhand. Like Dan Kotler shows up at a bar and everybody's telling him about all this stuff that just happened like a week ago.
You should do it like, no, it sounds to me like your plan is something about Mary. So like this psycho serial killer hitchhiker that Ben Stiller picked up, and he's like,
Yeah.
You heard it, 8-minute abs? I got something even better, man.
Yeah, I remember this.
7-minute abs. It's great, yeah. Well, until somebody comes up with 6-minute abs. No, 7, man. I can't remember. My wife remembers that whole little rhyme he does after that. 7 monkeys dancing. I don't remember what it was. But that's perfect. The third sign.
The third sign.
Oh, Dempsey only has the second sign. Kotler and Tumlinson have the third sign.
Let's step this game up.
Now, to be fair, I do have a book called The Fourth Prophecy.
Yes,
So you're going to have...
prophecy.
Yeah, you'll just have to have the fifth prophecy. It's all sevens, man.
I'm going to call it the third prophecy because I need to come in ahead of you at some point.
Yeah, you want to look like I'm the hack.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
tough work,
which we both know is true.
It's tough work to make you look like the hack. Out of the two of us, for sure. I got a whole new series. I'm nearly done with the second book in it.
This is what I was going to ask you, what you've been up to, and you're leading into it. Look at you. Yeah. You're such a pro, and you are a segue guy. I mean, can you guys tell that Tumlinson is regularly doing shows, has been on television and running production? And I mean, look, I want you to share your secrets with me on how you do all the cool intro alone for the Kevin show.
Yeah,
the production value is exponentially better than anything I've done except Inbound. Inbound's pretty good, but like
Inbound's pretty good.
But that intro is amazing. It's like you really like had a producer and a director set it up. I mean, it's a little like but it's got your goofy little Kevin spin to it. Like that's kind of your brand. Yeah, and like you're just this regular guy, this walkabout guy traveling, but the production value is exceptional.
I hate to break it to you, man, but that was like a 10-minute build one night. Like we literally
for you, but for me, I'm like, whoa, sparkly, and look at the logo that's always there. And how does he do that?
Yeah, that's the fun stuff. I like doing stuff like that. I've kind of gotten known for that kind of thing. Adding production value. It's the only perk I bring to anything.
And humility, apparently.
No humility. I'm what's the opposite? Is it dishumble, unhumble, irrehumble?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I'm all an irrehumble guy.
All I know is that that Dr. Kelly and Jonathan Barwick want to see a Sean and Dan story where they work on a puzzle together. I don't know how that would do that.
We could probably do. I bet if we just came up with the outline of the actual event, the thing that they have to solve, make it a 2-parter, right? The crux of the whole thing is there's 2 pieces that have to be solved, and they have to work together because no one person can do this and save the day. So now we can tell 2 stories from 2 different directions and meet in the middle.
That's what I think. I think that, guys, do you just see the genius right here? This is why Kevin is not just an idea guy. He also executes it extremely well with really good writing. But that is awesome. I love that concept. And you guys just witnessed the birth of something dangerously beautiful.
Well, you and I have been talking about doing something like this forever, but it's hard to figure out how to do it.
Well, I was so excited about the concept
Yeah.
but we always have these other projects going on, and then we're like, yeah, but then how would we do this part and this part? Because it's something new. No, Dr. Kelly, the next book for me is the Milestone Protocol. So whatever, maybe after that one, and like 2 more Dak Harper books and a PAD book, that one.
That's so weird, dude. My next book is called The Protocol Milestone.
Weird.
Now, anyway.
Yes.
I mean, it's an odd coincidence that just happened.
That is, I love it. And it's like nothing I've ever heard of. It's genius. We got off track, and I'm glad we did, because I do want to talk about, like, in private, off screen or out of the studio, how you do, or, you know, like on a phone call sometime, how you do those little production things you do that take you 10 minutes. I want to know how to do that stuff. But the other thing is, we were about to talk, and also that story, that would be cool.
I think that'd be
Kathy
cool.
said make time to do that, so we will.
I think that would be pretty awesome. Yeah.
I would like to. I think that would be a fun project to do, if you're willing to sort of do little snippets, and I wouldn't mind sharing a story like that on my website, and vice versa. You know, because I was doing the free chapters for like 4 months with the Dak Harper stuff, and lately I haven't been doing it the last couple of weeks, trying to recoup. I'm still kind of exhausted from all that.
Yeah, yeah.
and publishing 6 things at the same time, but like, yeah, I think that would be cool. We'll talk about it. Okay, guys, look, you've pried us into it. All right, so like
we inadvertently committed live on air, so now it has to be done.
Yeah, so we'll work on that. So, but we were talking before about, you've got some new stuff that you've been working on.
Yeah,
you did say please, Kathy. Thank you.
I'm still doing Dan Kotler books. I just love that character. I'm never gonna quit Dan Kotler, right? I'm gonna Rick Astley him forever. But I started I had an idea I actually pitched a series to when James Patterson was inviting people to pitch, and he was going to pick somebody to kind of mentor or whatever. And so I had pitched an idea, and he didn't take it. He didn't like it, he just never got back to me on it. And so I kept it in a drawer for a long time, and then I decided a few months ago that I was going to expand. So I introduced an idea in the Dan Kotler books called Historic Crimes. And I decided I would make that like an overarching brand for all my books in some way or another. I'm going to try to tie everything in, but definitely the thrillers. And so this is the second series. This is my series I'm going to use to kind of branch out, because all those Kotler books end up being in Kindle Unlimited and exclusive to Amazon. And so I've been pulling them out in 90-day increments, but I want to build a bigger audience faster. So I started writing that series, and it's a female protagonist. It's called Quake Runner, Alex Kane. And Quake is kind of a play on words with something. There's a piece of software she's created called Quake, spelled Quiek, and it's an acronym for something. But she's a fugitive on the run, and she basically kind of pulls an A-team kind of thing. Like she finds people who, because she's innocent and no one came to her rescue, she's decided to dedicate her life and basically her superpower, which is this artificial intelligence software that she's invented, to help people and bring justice to people who are basically being ignored by the system. And so there's an FBI team hot on her trail. She does a lot of she does the whole thing where she gets in, finds the thing that incriminates the bad guy, builds a case, and lets the FBI take it over, kind of thing. But in the meantime, she's a fugitive, so she has to stay on the run. So I use all my tricks. So it's been a lot of fun to write.
That is fun to write. And so you've got a runner. I've got the Relic Runner going. And he's also on the run. So this is going to be interesting to push these.
Him over.
Yeah, pushing these stories out. Very interesting. Yes, I'm excited to see this. And I like what you've done with the historic crimes thing, because I think that doing an overarching brand like that
Yeah,
is just so fun as
yeah,
a consumer or a reader or a viewer of movies or whatever. Like, it's just, I love stuff like that.
right. Yeah,
And
the fun for me is that I get to cross these books over uh, in an interesting way. Like all my books are connected in one way or another, but these are going to be characters who actually communicate with each other. Sometimes they cross over into each other's books, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of that. I'll keep the main protagonists sort of siloed, but all those sort of extra characters I've created over the years, they're going to show up in all the books. So to the reader, it should feel like a familiar universe, so that there's not that disjointed feeling. You know, what happens a lot of times is authors will decide to write something new, and the readers kind of drop off because they feel like they've been left behind. And
right.
I want to assure my readers that I'm still going to write the stuff that they like. I'm just going to add to the layers, give them more
Yep.
depth. So
Same. That's why I'm building all that stuff into the Sean Wyatt universe.
So the new books, Carrie, are not yet published. I'm actually trying to get ahead on them before I start releasing them, but they'll be on my website, which you can find at authorontheroad.com.
And I'm going to put that in there. Author. I can't type right now.
That's all right, man.
It's been a long week, and I
Since
can't
I
believe it's
started
already.
doing, I know.
Like, what
I can't
happened?
believe it's already like August, man.
I know.
I mean, July went by in such a blink. Like,
Yeah.
there was so much happening between us, like traveling and getting into a new vehicle, a new home, and everything. You know, people kind of joke. The big joke is, you know, I'm going to wait 6 months to see what you're living in next, because this is our fourth RV in 4 years. So
You're. That's also kind of your brand.
I don't want that as my brand. It took us some time to figure out exactly what we're trying to do. Right now, the way things have shaped up with COVID, this works the best for us. So like, when you travel, you know, we had the trailer, so we had a bathroom and kitchen and everything, bed and all that with us. But if we were just taking a quick road trip somewhere, we didn't have those things. And there's like a 50-50 chance that if you stop somewhere, there's not going to be a restroom right now.
Right.
Or food. I mean, you know, sometimes it's hard to even get a meal. So, you know, this was an opportunity for us to have everything we needed to go just enjoy. And we can boondock with it. Like, it's got a generator and solar panels and batteries and all that stuff, and
How many
lots of
solar
onboard
panels
water.
do you have?
It has one 200-watt solar panel, and I can
Okay.
put another one on the side. And I've been thinking about, I have a panel. I've been thinking about bringing it. It's just a matter of space, but really, with the generator and everything, we've got plenty. As long as I've got gas, I've got power.
Yep.
So
What about your inverter?
yeah, we have an inverter charger, and it's a 3,000-watt inverter, so it'll run the microwave. And what's cool is the air conditioner in this thing. Unlike all the other RVs I've owned, this one's a 12-volt air conditioner, so it can run for quite a while. It's not the most efficient AC we've ever had,
Right.
but if you need air conditioning, I mean, it's not too bad. But
That's what I was wondering about, because ours, in our trailer, you know, there's no way. We have two 200-watt solar panels and what is it? I think a 4,000
yeah,
inverter, and
yeah,
we have the one battery that's connected, and we have a second backup battery.
yeah,
But I haven't hooked up all the solar stuff yet,
yeah.
and I'm kind of afraid to drill into the ceiling of my tray. Like,
It's scary. Yeah,
I think I just want to pay somebody to do that. But I was wondering about the AC, you know, because of course down here in the South, especially where you are, but it gets hot, and
our
like
goal is to
boondocking.
get the hell out of here, though. Like, we don't want to be anywhere that requires air conditioning. We want to get out, go north and get into cooler environments where we
Right.
can just Because if we weren't running the AC, like with the AC running, I can get about a day out of the batteries.
Right.
And well, let's say I can get about 16 hours out of the batteries.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not running the AC, I can go, a couple of days, especially with the solar panels. I mean,
Yeah.
if we're not using a ton of power, everything works out fine. Everything we need runs on battery power. If I got to do my work, even live streaming, everything is on battery power. So
Okay. Yeah. All right. This has been very informative for my own personal uses.
well, yeah,
Excellent.
you can ask me anything, man, anytime.
Denise,
This stuff.
I appreciate that. Denise, he cannot come to Canada. None of us
They
can.
won't let me in.
We're not permitted there right now. You don't like our kind. So
We are going to go to Canada as soon as Americans are welcome in the world again. So that may not happen. I don't know. But as soon as the borders allow us to cross, Canada is definitely on the list. We've got a lot of friends in Canada, in various parts of Canada. So
yeah, I really want to get up there, and Megan does too. And
yeah.
where I'm going to be next, or 2 weekends from, or 2 weeks from today, is like an hour and a half from the Canadian border. So
yeah,
I don't know. I might try to sneak across just to see what happens. Let's see how aggressive the border security is up there in northern Idaho. See what's going on. Do you guys
just announced it publicly?
Yeah, yeah. What I meant was northern North Dakota is where I'm gonna try to cross over. So come and get me, Mounties, and we'll see what happens. I feel like they would kindly ask me to. They would say, like, "Sir, please kindly leave." That's how they would say it. They would be really polite about it. And then I would get belligerent, and then they would get mean about it. But like hockey mean, not like, like Southern American mean or Northeastern mean or South. I can't think of another place that has mean.
Yeah,
South Florida, maybe? I don't know. I'll have to call my agent and ask him. Oh, that reminds me. I've got a bunch of emails from him I need to check. I have to fill out some tax forms in France because apparently I have to pay French taxes for the royalty thing that I got from the publisher.
What are they going to do if you don't?
They won't send me the check.
Yeah.
But yes, that's right. We've talked about this before, Denise. I know that you speak French. My books will be in French soon. She said that Canadian mean is still nice. I believe it.
I believe it too.
I mean, they're just really nice folks. Mean hockey players. But other than that, really nice people. And the landscape's beautiful.
Yeah, we've been to Canada a couple of times. I really enjoyed it. But, I've only seen a small fraction of it. So
yeah.
It amazes me how much of Canada is just unoccupied.
Oh,
like you can't think. You think about the United States. Like there's no part of the United States you can visit where other humans haven't been, but you can go to places in Canada where you may not ever be seen again.
Yeah, your footprint. Where you leave your footprint, it may be the only place where a human footprint has ever been.
Yeah,
and that's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
I hear you, Heather. Kevin won't get that reference, but I get that Brad Marchand reference. And yeah, he is mean. He's a naughty boy. He's definitely how would Mrs. Doubtfire say that? He's been a naughty boy. He's been a very naughty boy. Can you send me a Mountie, Denise, please? Wow, Sam. Okay, here we go. Now we're gonna start getting. Is there a website for that, Kevin? Quick, buy that domain, marryamountie.com.
It has to be.
They've already got like the Russian.
What's the Farmer Love Connection website? There's got to be something like that for Mounties.
MariaMounty.com, dear. Sam
They're out
Nash.
there.
Sam. And if you go to Oak Island, you might not come back. That's true.
Yeah.
Sean Wyatt came back from there.
I was going to write, I literally was going to write something themed around Oak Island, but that show that they've been doing has kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah, I have known about that place for a really long time,
Same.
as have a lot of people. And I love the fact that the show treats it like it's this new thing. Like, like, even though they talk about the history of it and like how it's been, it was discovered so long ago and all the stuff that's happened, it's not a new thing. Like, that mystery has been a known mystery for a while. I don't mind it. It's interesting, I guess, but I don't like typically shows like that try to plug drama in.
Yeah.
Like, they're always plugging in it's always the same predictable formulaic drama, like a Sean Wyatt novel. And so, I feel like they're infringing on my gig there, on my gag there. And so,
Yeah.
no, but I did include it in the Templar Curse because I do think that at some point there was something there. And I think that I know what it was. And a lot of people think that too, but I don't think
that's the thing. Like, I remember reading about that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it was a reprint of the actual Reader's Digest article that they always quote from that show. Like, I remember reading all about it.
Mm-hmm.
There were drawings of what it was like, and what they thought it was like, and what was down there. And, I was always really impressed by that as a mystery and a legend. But we lost interest in the show because it's always the same thing. It's always like, we're digging, we found something. Oh, we didn't find something. Okay, next season.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, bye, Kathy Veglio. We'll see you later. I guess she left. I'm still impressed by Heather's Brad Marchand reference. Very nice. He's a hockey player, Kevin.
Yeah.
And a dirty one at that. He's a very dirty boy, dear. And so he's got this reputation of being kind of a nasty guy. So we covered what's coming next for you, and apparently what we're going to be working on together in our non-existent spare time. So
I was just sitting here thinking, like, oh yeah, I got tons of time to work on yet another series. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, might as well. I don't sleep. Who needs sleep?
Who needs sleep?
Yes. So the question that I have for you is boxers or briefs?
Boxer briefs.
I know. We already covered that. Briefs. But some people missed it at the beginning, and I had to circle back around because Kat asked a very pointed question. She asked, thong?
Thong.
Can you believe the thong song is like 20 years old?
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow. No, I did not click to that.
I know that that's one of your theme songs for one of your shows, but I just...
What? The thong show.
Oh, no. Oh, so here's a great question. Okay. How do you guys find new locations and mysteries for your books? Kevin, you go first, so I can think.
So I think Ernie does essentially the same thing. Like, I'm always looking at, especially when Barnes and Noble is still a thing and still existed, and you can still go into one. I always peruse the aisles with all the books about ancient mysteries and things like that. And I do it online, or I'm watching television shows or whatever that have a reference to some ancient location. And so I go digging in and find out more about it, and then I start researching it. That's where a lot of my sayings come from. But a lot of times I just kind of keep a mental catalog of ideas like that I've encountered in my reading. When I was a kid, I read about this stuff all the time. So I always have some vague memory of something. And then I kind of go look it up to see, to kind of remind myself of what it is. and then whatever the location setting there is, that kind of ends up becoming the next book. I mean, it's just one of those things, you keep a kind of, I don't keep a physical list anywhere. I just have a sort of mental catalog of all these interesting places I've encountered in reading and watching films and things like that.
Okay. Cool. For me, how dare you answer for me, first of all. Secondly,
I just know that we have a lot of the same books on our shelves. That's all.
Well, and again, guys, this show is proof that we're not the same person. That and
hypothetically,
and Nick has been on the show too, although the three of us have never been in the same place at the same time, not once.
Yeah.
So that is like, you could have like that whole Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible like skin tight disguise mask that you pull off and you're actually Nick. But
it's sort of the Heisenberg principle of authors. Like, you can't have the three of us. It can be a combination of any two, but all three in the same place is an impossibility.
I'm more of a Schrodinger's cat guy, so
it's like we're either at any given time we are either Nick or not Nick.
That's right. Exactly. Well,
physics jokes.
Yes. No, I was dying when Dr. Fauci threw out the first ball at the Washington Nationals opening game, and and I posted on Facebook. I said, "This is what happens when a biology guy tries his hand at applied physics."
Right.
It was a funny thing to see. So to answer your question, Carrie, similar to Kevin with me, where I find the locations and the ideas. I pay attention to a lot of. Sometimes I go, like looking through magazines. I look through a lot of National Geographic magazines. Often, if I'm at the grocery store, and there's usually a lot of history stuff in those that is really interesting to me, and it's all like when the cover catches my eye, I buy it. And so I look through stories and mysteries that are coming from the ancient world, or even sort of not even ancient, but like 400 or 500 years ago history, stuff like that. And so I get a lot of juice from magazines like that I see on the magazine racks at the grocery store. And then I will see shows and things like Kevin mentioned, like there's different shows, or sometimes I'll watch, like we used to watch Ancient Aliens a lot, which was really interesting. And so there's lots of different things like that I've seen, or like books that I've read, snippets of.
I'm going to confess that I've pulled a lot of stuff from the books of like Graham Hancock and guys like that, who sort of the alternate history folks. Because they talk about a lot of actual real history, while they're giving you some conjecture about what could have been. So a lot of my stories kind of evolved from those, the settings and that sort of thing. Especially once I learned about that place, I go find it. I go dig into it. And some of my stuff is set in the U.S. A lot of it is. So these are typically places I've been to, especially now that we're traveling full time. So. Yeah.
Exactly, Valerie. Yeah. Yeah, that.
I like that. Secrets of the Dead was cool.
Yeah. And so for me, that's a big part of it. Some of it's stuff that I've seen. So when I was in Germany in 2004, I took a lot of mental notes of things that I saw while I was traveling around there. Yeah. And you got like 1,100-year-old churches there, and 600-year-old houses, and so there's a lot of interesting stuff in places like that that I just kind of remember. And then too, I was in Europe in 1994, summer before my senior year in high school. Kevin, you were already in postgraduate work, but well, I'm glad I got a smile out of you on that one. But yeah, that I remember a lot of stuff from that too. Like there's just certain things. I can't remember what my wife told me to do earlier this afternoon, but I can remember that in Heidelberg, Germany, there's the world's largest beer barrel because it holds 55,000 gallons of booze. And when back in the day when it was being used at that Heidelberg Schloss, the king took an alcohol tax from the people, and so his collectors would go around, and if you had wine, they would pour it in the thing, and if it was beer, they would pour it in the thing, and if it was homemade moonshine or whatever, they would pour it in the thing, and they just came back and dumped all of it into the barrel. So you had this weird, disgusting mix of, it had to be the most vile tasting hooch of all time. And they also said, like, eventually down, 55,000 gallons, like down at the bottom of it was just not, it was kind of sludgy, I think.
Yeah.
And, but they had a pump, and like it went all the way straight up into, I think, was it the throne room, or I don't remember which room, but I remember their consumption per day was something ridiculous. Maybe it was per week. I think it was per week was like 500 gallons. And that was for the whole castle. But like 500 gallons, like, y'all are some drinking people, man.
Yeah, man.
Good grief. And there was like this urban legend that was, Sam called it punch.
It's like sangria.
Paige said probably warm beer. Yes, sort of like beer. But yeah, like stuff like that always just, I can't forget things like that. And so it was really stuff like that I remember, and then I see things on shows or I read things, and then what I do is when I have ideas about stuff, I write them down in Evernote. I'm like, hey, use this at some point. And so oh yeah, Joe's got some beer to bottle. You're welcome. Just, hey, build yourself a 55,000 gallon barrel, Joe. And there's like a staircase that goes up on that thing. It's ridiculous, but we're running short on time. I don't want to talk all about my stuff, but Dr. Kelly said it was very cool. Finding obscure historical locations sounds like a great pastime. Yes, it is a fun pastime.
It is fun and lucrative.
Says the guy living in a van.
Yeah, that's what's funny. It's like everyone already has a perception of writers being broke, and then when I tell people that I live in a van, it's like, oh, I'm really sorry. Do you need a place to stay?
I know.
This van cost $170,000. It cost more than our house cost when we owned it.
Is that what it cost?
This one.
Wow.
They vary in price, but yeah, this one was.
Does it fly?
No, but you can poop in it.
Does it? Thank you. Does it convert to a submarine?
Close, depending on how fast I'm driving.
Can it float like a boat? Is it like one of those ducks? One of the duck, amphibious vehicles?
I'm gonna give it a shot. I don't know it for certain, but I thought for the money, surely. Kara
might want to hop out and and not be. Oh my goodness! So honeydews don't compare. No, Valerie, they do not. Yes, they couldn't drink water, Denise. You're right. In fact, one of the kings did drink some water, and he got extremely sick. And I can't remember if he died. I think he died. Yeah, that's why they said, like, was it Ben Franklin that said, like, in water, in wisdom, there's wine, in beer, there's courage, in water, there's bacteria. Like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, look at the people jumping in on the joke that you love so much. And one of our good friends,
hey, Claire,
the extraordinary Claire Taylor. I can't believe she's here.
I feel honored now.
I do too. Like,
I feel like my life has meaning.
Like,
once.
Hey, look, now we're not the two best writers in the room anymore.
I ceded that. I wasn't one of the two best writers in the room when the thing started.
Who was the other one?
I wasn't one of the two. So.
Oh, Sam Nash was here.
Sam Nash. Right. There you go.
That's right. That's right. Sam's in the room. She's the best.
She is the.
So I wasn't either. Sam was the two best writers in the room. I don't think the other one's in here. I don't think Stephen Moore is here right now. But I did have a purple carrot meal in his honor earlier, and in your honor, Sam. I know, Claire. Yeah, look, she can't believe she's here either. You must be at your life that is so exciting, Claire. You must have really, really had to like force yourself to click the button to join this, because I know how exciting and
Does
busy
Facebook
your
have
life
like a
is.
slumming button? Is that what's going on now?
That's what she
I
did.
feel like slumming.
Now, don't make the readers feel bad. They're not slumming it.
They're slow. They're slumming.
There's
better ways to spend your time.
That's what I put in every promo. I was like, I say something along the lines of, because you've got nothing better to do. Right. But they know we're joking. They love you mostly, and maybe they like me. So
yes, that's why I literally get fan mail for you when I send out emails.
We love you too, Sam.
Hey, be sure you check out Ernie Dempsey's new book, and I'll get tons of email. Oh, I love Ernest Dempsey. I love the Sean Wyatt series.
I get that about you too. I really do.
Who is Dan Kotler?
No, I get a lot of. Here's clever Claire. She is so like. So those of you who don't know, Claire Taylor is one of the cleverest people I know, and I call her my sis. But she is one of the wittiest people I've ever met. And I like to think I have a pretty good wit, but it doesn't compare. Whenever the rare times I get to hang out with her, I just kind of shrink back, and I'm like, I just don't need to say anything because I'm just going to look stupid. But as long as I stick with...
That's my rule for life now.
Unless we're together, Kevin, then we make each other look smart.
Alternately.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
Yeah. Yes. Guys, know that we are all professional readers, so we love you all. That's very nice.
Thank you, Karen.
See, look, Claire's kiting our fans now. Look at this.
I know. They're all going to leave here and go hang out with her for a while.
Don't worry. I'm gonna have Sam. Sam doesn't do that, and Sam's gonna be on the show again soon because I only have a cluster of so many thriller writer friends that I can swing around. And if Claire, maybe I should just have Claire on the show anyway. She doesn't really, she's not really.
I had Steve Berry on my podcast today.
Of course you did. And here we go. One up.
So you get me. I go get Steve Berry.
Did you hear what he just said? Did you hear what he said? Steve Berry. You get me Tumlinson twice already. We've only been doing the show 3.5 months, and this is the second time he's been on. Now I'm circling back around to all the others I've already had. This is the best you can do. Barry.
This is Steve's second time on the Word Slinger podcast.
Third. He's been on there 3 times.
Is this his third time?
Why do I know?
It is his third time.
Why do I know your show better than you?
But I'm kind of like I kind of don't want to have him on again because he doesn't know what else to talk about. Like he's not. We don't necessarily pal around. Like he's all business. He wants to talk about his book, and I get it. But
no, listen. When's I'm not jealous, Valerie, but I am mad. Listen, if you don't start getting me some additional rotations in here,
you gotta up the ante here.
For the record, I'm talking to my cat, the producer. She's sleeping right now, and where she always sleeps, where I work all day. Yeah. But good job, Kevin. Way to go on your 3rd round with Steve Berry. Apparently, he loves you. Meanwhile, my Steve Berry story is I interrupted him while he was beelining it to the bathroom at Thriller Fest last summer.
Yeah.
So I still feel a little bad about that. I didn't tell him my name, though. Like, I was just like, hey, Mr. Berry, thanks for being on Kevin Tumlinson's podcast. I really appreciated that interview. I mean, like the sweat's like rolling down his face. And I'm like, that guy's going to the bathroom.
He's been on panels since 8 in the morning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, and everybody
Dude,
wanted to
great time
talk
to
to him.
grab him.
Everybody was talking. I did not see him at one moment, except that moment when he wasn't talking to someone. Like the guy was just always surrounded by people. And by the way, that conference is all heavy hitters. Like I don't understand why they're all enamored with like one person or another. It's like, I mean, I was sat at the bar with Harlan Coben, just eating a burger and watching the U.S. Open tennis and chatting about like random stuff. Nobody was like huddled around Harlan, and he's like this. He's huge, literally and book wise. But
I think people don't some people are just more recognizable.
I don't know. Have you met Harlan Coben? He's a giant.
Yeah,
he's like I'm 6 feet tall, and he's like 6'5", 6'6". Interesting guy, though. Anyway, all right, I've kept you long enough. It's been an hour and 5 minutes. We went over because I got so excited to see my good friend Claire, who is blushing and missing us.
We miss you too, Claire.
And please tell John that we said hello, Claire. And hope he's staying safe out there doing his job. And so, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining Drinks with Dempsey today with my good friend, Kevin Tumlinson. Do not book him again, by the way. I am tired of this. We'll probably have you back on in about 6 weeks. So
why not? I'm around. I got nothing better to do.
Well, personally, well, I know that, but they don't need to know that. The readers don't. Kevin, don't tell them that.
Yeah, we'll see what I'm in, what RV I'm in next time I'm on.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Like you can
We're
do
thinking
your
smart car.
You should do your own fake reality show where you've got this drama. Like, how are we going to decide where to go next, Kara? Dun dun. Find out next week where they decide to boondock. Oh, at the in-laws' driveway.
Yeah.
And just insert fake drama.
We're headed for Idaho next, I think.
Me too.
By way of Colorado. Yeah.
I'm going to fly over that, but like. Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going to fly over the Dakotas. So I appreciate having you on, and I mean it. I do want to have you on again, and not just because I'm desperate for guests, but because I love chatting with you, and I don't get because I'm not going to really probably see you at very many conferences coming up in the next 4 months.
It does seem unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, I may still go to NINC just because, I'm careless that way, but like
we were going to, but there's no real reason for me to go now, so we're just gonna not go sweat.
I think that I'm still considering it, and really just because I want to support the conference. Like I know there's not going to be anybody there, and I may be the only one there. Like me and Chesson might be the only ones there, but I want to support the conference because I think it's the best writer conference that we go to, and it's very useful in many ways. And so, but yeah, that's why I love having you on, man. It's like I get to hang out with my buddy and I don't ever get to see. And so I appreciate you taking time out of your day in your van, and tell Spider-Man above you that I said thanks for all he does, cleaning up the neighborhood. And I'll see you around. Thank you guys for joining us for Drinks with Dempsey. Kevin, I'll see you backstage here in a second. And the rest of you, I will see you at coffee at the Dempsey's on Sunday morning, and where I ramble over a cup of Joe, not Joe Schlegel, actual Joe. I'll see you guys later, and Drinks with Dempsey next will be in about 3 weeks when I get back from my strange adventures. We'll see you guys Sunday morning.